Let's change the facts slightly so that Decina wins. What could make his unconsciousness a complete defense to the charge of 1053A? Select from the following facts, those facts that you think would give him a complete defense. For all these choices, the overriding principle is what's going to make him blameworthy, what's going to make him not blameworthy, what's going to be something that we would say he had notice or he didn't have notice. He had knowledge, he didn't have knowledge. So let's look at the first answer. This was Decina's first seizure. This is a paradigm answer. He didn't have knowledge when he got into the car that morning that he would have a seizure. And in fact, because he didn't have knowledge, he could not be blameworthy. This was not an act over which he had physical control. B's answer is similar in that Decina could not have had knowledge that he was going to have a seizure if he's taking medication that had been previously very effective in controlling these seizures. So let's suppose he's taking medication for the last 5 or 10 years and he's not had a breakthrough at all. He's in a very different position than our defendant, Decina, who got into the car that morning knowing he had had 10 to 20 seizures in 4 years and one just recently. Answer C also works. If Decina had a license from the DMV based upon a doctor's authorization that he was seizure-free, then Decina doesn't have any knowledge when he got into the car that morning. Answer D is the only one that doesn't work. If we remember that the whole point of this actus reus is, does Decina have knowledge that he could suffer a seizure, lose consciousness based upon his prior experience, then D won't work for him because he had a last seizure. The fact that it didn't cause him to lose consciousness doesn't change his blameworthiness or his risk that he took in getting into the car driving, knowing that he was subject to seizures. So what's the takeaway from our changing the hypo? We always want to keep anchored to the fact of our general rule. Our principle is that an actus reus is going to be sufficient legally if our defendant has physical control. Or, as in the case of Decina, if our defendant doesn't have physical control, but did so on an earlier action, and with knowledge of the potential for the involuntary act, he still took that risk. So in our hypotheticals that we added to and changed for purposes of Decina, as long as he had no knowledge that the seizure was coming, Decina could win. But the moment we believe he has knowledge when he got into the car, then he loses because he actually did commit a voluntary actus reus. That is, getting into the car with the knowledge that he could have the seizure.